Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Thursday and all today's guests, including Farhan, standing by, brought to you by the Giants of Vancouver. Giants look to even up their series against Everett. They lost 3-1 last night in Langley. Game 4 tomorrow night at the LEC Puck Drop, 7 p.m. Grab your tickets now at vancouvergiants.com/tickets. Before we get to Farhan, Delaney's OK Tire in Langley inbox. Unsigned new Donnie and Dolly merch and still no Crocs. Actually, it's not unsigned. That is from Dwight.
We're
going to get some white Crocs, a tribute to Derek Wong.
Yep.
Any plans for that, Ryan? We'll get back to you soon.
I'll work on that, yeah.
Okay. We're joined now by Farhan Lalji of TSN in the wake of the Canucks 2-1 victory down in Arizona last night. Farhan, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Well, dude, I'm better than you. You sound like crap. Like you're playing hurt. What's going on here?
Farhan, I got news for you. I always sound like crap. This is even lower than that, okay? You
were playing hurt. I am impressed. I had to come on knowing you were still going to do the show in your current state.
Do you have a hat on that we want to talk about? Is that right?
Kids sport hat? No, not necessarily kids sport. I wear this from time to time. You know that. I've got the Donnie and Dolly hat over here next door. I've even got white Crocs. If I had known, I would have held them up for you. I would have lifted my foot up for you. I've got white Crocs here too.
Or wear them on your head. Hey, were you okay with JT Miller sticking up for Elias Pettersson?
Yeah. Look, for me. I don't think people should have to answer for a clean hit. Right. And it was an absolutely clean hit. But, if you make the case and people in the locker room believe that, this is a galvanizing thing and it's a good thing. And there's certainly been debates in the past about Miller and Pettersson's relationship and all of those types of things. So the fact that Miller came to his defense, it was great. I'm sure it'll help locker room wise. I don't, and not that the locker room's in a bad place. I'm not suggesting that, but it could even enhance it that much more. And, I thought maybe it would spark something in Elias Pettersson for the rest of that game, and it didn't, right? I mean, he just kind of played the same the rest of the way. But look, from a team chemistry and locker room perspective, it can't hurt. Although, on a philosophical perspective, I don't like that someone's got to answer for a completely clean hit.
Quinn Hughes was fabulous again last night. A goal and assist. 3 goals in 2 games. Where is he, in your opinion, when it comes to the Norris Trophy?
I think he's the front runner. I think he has to be the front runner, right? Because when you look at what the Canucks would be without Quinn Hughes, they'd be in a world of hurt without Quinn Hughes. Leads NHL defenseman in scoring right now. And, there was an interesting stat that was posted last week just about, the number of times that, Quinn Hughes plays with the JT Miller line versus, let's say, what
No, he just cut himself off. What the heck was that?
Yeah, that's not good. Technical difficulties?
I think he's doing the Donnie and Dolly drinking
game. What? I think he had trouble coming up with that name, and he just turned things off.
I think what happened is I believe he got a call and hit the wrong button. And because he dropped out of our Zoom. He's gone. He's out of the whole meeting.
Now, just in case, folks, you were questioning whether or not this is live television.
It's live.
First of all, this voice. Secondly, what happened to Farhan? Right there. Yeah. Are we going to get him back?
All right, hold on. He's rejoining as we speak. I think he's ready to go now.
I forgot to turn the phone off, and it still isn't off right now. So someone called in and just cut the whole thing out. So I apologize for that. Yeah, well, we were talking about Quinn Hughes, right? Yeah. And just how good he has been. And he doesn't necessarily get the offensive zone faceoffs as, let's say, Cale Makar does. And he doesn't necessarily get put out there all the time in 5-on-5 situations with JT Miller or the best Canucks, the guys that are going the most in that situation versus what Cale Makar does. So, when you look at the context around what his numbers are, it makes them even more impressive. But, for me, I just think that Colorado has more of their best players playing like their best players where the Canucks maybe don't, right? So Quinn Hughes, what his value is to this team in those situations has just been amazing this season. So I don't know how you turn it off. And when he's had a chance to play in the East and play in front of some of those voting audiences, I think he's more than delivered.
Interesting story I saw on Twitter with Chase Claypool, Abbotsford kid, obviously bouncing around the NFL. He was put on the neg list by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. We know all about neg lists. It doesn't necessarily mean just because you're on a neg list in the CFL, the player's coming today or tomorrow. Is there any chance of Claypool ending up in the CFL?
Well, there's always a chance. I think it's a very low chance. For one, first of all, I do think that he's going to get another life in the NFL and that he's going to get signed by a team, and hopefully he does enough to hang around, right? And maybe can change the narrative on his future and live up to his immense talent, right? So we'd like to see that for sure. But secondly, I don't know that he's going to want to play in the CFL even if the NFL doesn't work out, right? He's got other things that I think he'd like to explore. I think sometimes he's been criticized for having those other interests and things like that. But if you're going to come to the CFL, and if he came to the CFL, he wouldn't be bound by the rookie cap, right? But he certainly wouldn't make close to what he would be making in the NFL, and any CFL team that signed him, the guy would have no leverage, and it would be a case of, look, you got to show us something first. So, I don't know that $100,000 deal is going to be enough to get him into the CFL. As opposed to maybe some of those other interests. So right. I think it's a long shot on a number of levels for him to play. I'm not going to say never, but I would say it's highly unlikely that he ever plays in this league. And, to your point about the neg list, Rick, Saskatchewan added him, but earlier in the year, Toronto had him on the neg list, and they took him off. And, shortly after his draft year, BC had him on the neg list. Ed Hervey put him on and took him off. So guys, sit on and off a neg list very quickly and rotates quite quickly. The Lions had Colin Kaepernick on their neg list. Didn't mean he was coming here anytime soon.
That's right.
So, again, I won't say no shot, but I will say very, very long shot.
All right, Touchdown Pacific, they're trying to find ways to add more seats because the pent-up demand, they sold out real quick. It was in less than an hour. This is a good thing. For the Lions to go over there, at first a lot of people thought, why? And now the demand's there. They're looking for more tickets. This is turning out to be a pretty good deal for the Lions.
Yeah, and the majority of it has been people from Vancouver Island, right? So I think that's a great thing because now you're going to encourage those people to even come over more. And Amar Doman's been doing all those things in terms of, deals with ferries and things like that and making all of that work. But this just is the next step to engage all parts of the province to this team. So I think it's a great thing. I know they're trying to expand. It's probably going to be in the party zone more so than adding actual formal seats. So, people in the area tell me it looks to them to the naked eye that there's room to add more seats, but I don't know what the regulations around all of that are and whether or not the city would impose limits and things like that. But look, you're going to get 14,000 more than that for this, so I think it's going to be a really cool spectacle, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys, we had a chance in 2011 and 2010 to go to Empire Field, right? And when they built the temporary stands and a lot of people said it felt like camping, but it was pretty cool on a short-term basis, and I'm looking forward to going there on August 31st. Hopefully I can get in.
I loved Empire Field. I don't think you'll have a problem with that. Get back to that phone call, Farhan.
Fix the phone.
Who was calling, by the way?
It was Life Labs. I've got to get some medical results back. So hopefully it was all good news, good news like Connor Garland is giving the Canucks. We didn't even talk about him. How good has he been?
Very good. I just hope you can join us next week, Farhan.
Life Labs.
Yeah.
You never know.
Hey, you do know you can go on their website and get the results.
Rick's an expert.
Well,
on the
subject. My blood pressure is high, but it's dealing with you all the time.
I wonder why. Hey, listen, just go on the internet, get your results. I'm telling you, you can get them. You don't have to wait for the doctor anymore.
Okay. whatever it takes to be healthy, Farhan, do it. Thanks for this.
All right. See you next week, hopefully.
Right.